This podcast is sponsored by Loot Crate. Use the link down below and the code LOOT10 to get 10% off. This is the Casual Nerds Podcast with Eri and Matt.
Hello, and welcome to the Casual Nerds Podcast. I'm your host, MegaDjMatt, and with me, as always, is...
Hi, Eri here. Welcome to Casual Nerds, guys.
And today's topic is fake fans. The reason why we decided to talk about fake fans today is because Eri has a different definition of what a fake fan is, and so do I.
Early this year, or somewhere around late last year, I was accused of being a fake fan, and I told this story to Matt, and I was telling him all about it, even though that I joined the community, or knew about the thing that we're into around 2 years earlier than the person who accused me of being a fake fan. And Matt was all like, that's not what a fake fan is. And I asked him, what is a fake fan? And this is basically his definition.
My definition of a fake fan is somebody who says, like, hey, I like this thing, like, let's say Kingdom Hearts, and I will ask them, like, hey, what do you like about it? And they'll say, oh, well, the gameplay looks cool. I haven't played any of the games, but the gameplay looks cool. And then I'll look to them and say, like, so you've never played a single Kingdom Hearts game? And they'll say no. Have you looked into them at all? Besides the gameplay? No. So you can't exactly be a fan of something if you haven't watched it or played it, or read it. I don't see that as you being a fan of something. You know about it, you know of its existence, but that doesn't really mean you're a fan.
But yeah, here's the thing though. According to Urban Dictionary, some post in Amino and Tumblr, and probably some YouTube videos as well, the definition of fake fan in this day and age is pretty much someone who full on yells at other people saying, how dare you do this or that or blah 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 blah. You're a fake fan. They're basically the people who are like so naggy and accusing people of being fake that's pretty much a definition of a fake fan. And people have agreed that if you're gonna be that type of person who pretty much does that thing, who full on yells at other people for not knowing who the band members are, or only liking one of them, or only liking some of their songs but not all of them, you're a fake fan for doing that. Because it's not in the true nature of the fandom to make people feel bad because they don't know much, or they only like one thing and not the other, and their opinions their opinions and beliefs and ideals somewhat clash to yours in a sense.
I can definitely see that definition as well.
But I could somewhat picture what Matt is saying, because a similar incident happened to a friend of mine. Basically, a friend of mine told me that their school, their classmates liked 21 Pilots recently because they started becoming really popular and everything. And my friend is a huge 21 Pilots fan. Like, they've been listening to their music for a really long time before Blurry Face was released. So when 21 Pilots became super popular, they would hear their classmates saying, oh, I like 21 Pilots, I love their songs. And then they would ask, oh, what is your favorite song then? I like them too. And their friend or classmate would respond with, oh, I like Stressed Out. And they would be like full on shocked and want to slap their hand on their face, facepalm and everything, because 21 Pilots isn't all Stressed Out. They had a bunch of other songs, and my friend wants to accuse them of being fake because they only know that one song. But at the same time, you cannot tell someone that they're fake just because they knew one song, in a sense. And apparently they only like 21 Pilots because of that one song, and they want to call that person a fake fan because of it. Like, they didn't do any research on the band's previous work and everything. So yeah, but here's the thing though, times have changed, Matt. Like, just because someone likes something but doesn't know much about it doesn't make them a fake fan.
Yes, but all right. With your 21 Pilots thing, okay, so the person only knew of the song Blurry Face?
No, they only know Stressed Out. Blurry Face is the album.
Right. Alright, so they only knew the song Stressed Out, which I'm guessing at the time was when it first came out, when it was like super popular.
Yep.
Oh boy. Yeah, see, it can be that one song that can get somebody into it, and they could know the band's name, but, to call yourself a fan of the band themselves just based off of that one song, I really wouldn't go that far. I would say you'd have to at least look into more of their music before you can really call yourself a fan. That would be like me saying, let's see, where can I go with this one? I'm a fan of Melanie Martinez, but I've only heard her song Dollhouse. Doesn't really work that way.
And this is why we're having this episode right now. My goal is to try to prove to Matt that his ideals might be, like his idea of what a fake fan is, might be out of date. And Matt is going to try to put in his logic and reasoning to why his reason is somewhat correct in a sense.
Correct.
And to those who are listening, please know that it is good. This is healthy. It is good to somewhat talk and argue and have conflicting ideals because it makes great conversation and you get to learn more about each other in a sense and see why they think that way and whatnot. So Matt and I don't hate each other. We just have different definitions, but we're still friends despite the fact that we view things very differently.
Exactly. We could see different viewpoints on many different things, and yeah, we might have conflict when it comes to these things, but it doesn't mean we'll stop being friends. It just means we don't see eye to eye on a certain thing.
And for some reason, we were going to try to resolve this issue publicly via podcast.
Yep, because why not?
So, you're saying that in order to be a full fan, you need to know pretty much a lot of things about whatever just to be a fan, right? Like, you cannot just say, oh, I like the game, but I never played it, or I don't know anything about the story or anything, right?
When it comes to Kingdom Hearts, exactly, because, I mean, I wouldn't say that you would have to know much about the lore, even though that really does help, but when it comes to just saying, like, oh yeah, the gameplay looks cool, and you're trying to call yourself a fan, even though you've never played a single Kingdom Hearts game, it doesn't work like that. You have to at least play one of them. I don't care which. I would suggest going to the first one first, of course, even though there are people out there that like to go to Birth by Sleep. But at least play the game first. Something. Don't just say you like how the gameplay looks. That's not a fan. That's just you saying, oh, this looks cool. I've never played it. I don't know anything about it, but this looks cool.
So, in saying that, so here's a fun story for me to share. I started getting into D&D. Like, I'm now playing it. I'm still learning the game. But, are you calling me a fake fan because I have no idea what the other monsters are? I don't know the lore of the Dungeons and Dragons universe. I don't know lots of the backstories in regards to characters or why a character exists. Like, are you calling me a fake fan because I don't know who the fluff Xanatar is and his deal with his goldfish, and because I like Dungeons and Dragons, but I don't know much about the lore and the extra bits that comes involved with the adventure modules, which has pre-gen, official-ish characters that Wizards of the Coast, who made or produced Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know anything about it. Are you calling me a fake fan just for that?
No, because I know you play Dungeons and Dragons, and because of the fact that Dungeons and Dragons has been going on since, the 70s, 80s or something?
70s, yeah. Or 60s.
Yeah, you're right. It's either 60s or 70s. I don't know which. Because it's been going on so long, you don't exactly need to know the lore and everything about the game, because it's been going on so long. I'm pretty sure it has changed time and time again. There might be still some things that are kept from the original lore, but I'm pretty sure A, it's changed up, and B, the few times I have played Dungeons and Dragons myself, which it was okay, I guess. The only thing I cared about is when we were in combat. But you don't really have to know much about its past or anything. You could just create your character, give them a backstory, and just have fun with that. That's just something completely different from, like a video game series that's been going on for about 16, 17 years. That actually has like a connecting storyline.
Okay, if that's the case, are you calling me a fake fan for Pokemon? But not now. I know you know that I know a lot of the story, the anime, and everything. But are you calling me a fake fan when I was like 5 years old? Because I just started playing Pokemon, or I just heard about it, just saw my cousin play it. It's the only game they could let me borrow when I visit their house. Are you calling me a fake fan? Because I like Pokemon, but I don't know much of the backstory behind it. I have no idea who Pikachu was at the time. All I know is, oh look, monsters fighting each other. It's fun and cute and pixely. I want to play it. And I did mistake Magikarp with a Mudkip one time because I was that young. Are you calling me a fake Pokemon fan because of that?
Okay, so at the time you haven't played the game, you've only seen stuff for it?
Yeah, I've seen stuff about it. I've seen my cousin play it. Sometimes he would let me borrow his account because I'm bored, or we have to take turns with his Xbox. So he lets me borrow his Game Boy just to take turns and everything. But yeah, pretty much.
Well, that's where it is. All right, let me ask you this question first. Okay, what generation did you start to notice Pokemon?
Ruby and Sapphire. So 3rd gen. That was my first Pokemon game. Pokemon Ruby.
Whoa, we're going back into, what was it, Game Boy Advance times?
Yep.
Oh, man. Well, at that time, I wouldn't exactly call you a fake fan. I would just say that you were somebody who was introduced to it, but didn't have it exactly a way to, play it yourself, because I'm guessing you didn't have a Game Boy or anything at the time.
Nope. No video games.
So no systems whatsoever.
Nope. Education comes first.
I can't argue with that. Okay. Yes, education does come first. But alright. See, at that point, you're not exactly a fake fan. You just didn't have a way to play it. And you only played it when you were able to at your cousin's house or whatever. And I would just say, hey, that's not exactly a fake fan. You at least know of it. You know something about it. I wouldn't say you're exactly like a fan, but you're just somebody who is in the know. You know what it is.
So you're saying that in order to like be a fully appreciated fan, you need to know a lot of stuff about it, right? Like you have to know a lot of stuff, right?
Well, in this case, when it comes to Pokemon, I wouldn't say you need to know like a lot.
But no, but in your logic wise, your definition wise, like in your main definition of what fake fan is, you have to know a lot of stuff. We're following your definition, no examples. You have to know a lot of stuff about it. You need to know the characters and all that jazz. Am I correct?
In some cases, yes.
Okay, so let's go back to 2016, everyone, when We Are Number One was still a thing, when the Lazy Town fandom was going through a resurgence. Are you calling me a fake Lazy Town fan because I don't know much about the show? I don't know who Mountie is at the time, or who Magnus or Stefan Carl was. All I know is We Are Number One, and all I remember is, I watched that show once when I was a kid, but I wasn't a fan. And I didn't watch all the episodes yet. Even up to this day, I didn't finish all of season 1 and 2 yet. But are you calling me a fake Lazy Town fan because I don't know much about the show? Based on your definition, no examples, based on your definition.
That's a little bit tricky, but yes and no.
All I knew was We Are Number One. That's all I knew about. I watched the show, but I don't know who all the characters were. Well, I know a few in some degree because the last time I watched it was when I was a little kid. But I have no knowledge on who the actors and actresses were. I didn't know season 3 was a thing till We Are Number One became a thing. I didn't know season 4 was a thing as well. we're going back to 2016 before we became friends. Are you calling me and pretty much the people who started off on Tumblr and YouTube, so you're calling all our friends out on this as well. We're getting all of our friends involved. Are you calling us and them fake Lazy Town fans because of this?
I would not say you're exactly a fake fan. You're just a fan of that meme if you did not know much of anything else about Lazy Town at that time.
Fan of the meme, really?
Well, because if you only knew about the meme and not really knew anything about the show at the time, then that's just it. You only know about the meme and nothing else.
But are you calling me and a bunch of our friends fake fans for the show? That's the question.
No, not exactly.
How come? We don't know much about the show. I'm pretty sure that some of our friends didn't even know what Lazy Town was till the meme became a thing because they lurk around Reddit or something. What makes you so sure that we are not fake fans?
Because, like I said, a fake fan is just somebody who knows, like, almost nothing, but tries to say they do.
So was us. So was us. Like, a bunch of us pretty much at the time. We're not saying now when we became full-on blown fans and some of us became casual fans. We're talking back then when we're like, oh, I like Lazy Town. I only know about that one meme, but that's it. I never watched the show yet. I don't know about Afram Latabar. I don't know about Glani Gliper yet. I'm pretty sure one of our friends had to wait an entire year before watching it for some reason. We were not in that forum site yet. We don't know who Lazy Pookie was or Bubble or pretty much any of the veteran Lazy Town fans. You calling us fake for that? Calling us fake?
I'm sorry, just your rage voice sounds hilarious. Calling us fake fans? You calling us fake? Boy, I will smack you silly.
I got really competitive, guys. I got really competitive. Whenever stuff like this happens, I am willing to go a bit competitive and ragey in a sense, just to prove a point. But I am just saying, are you calling us fake? Answer the damn question!
No, because for one, especially when you're talking about like, hey, you didn't know about Afram Latabear or Glani Gliper or anything, nobody outside of the forums, especially around that time, knew what the heck that was unless you really looked into what Lazy Town originated from, because until I joined the forum site, I had no idea what Afram Latabear was. I didn't know what Glani was. The only thing I knew was, hey, this was a little show I remember seeing on Nick Jr. in the mornings. That was it. That was like my only memory of it. And, of course, Lazy Pookie's Mega Mix.
I would like to point out that Matt is 30 years old right now. So the fact that he's saying that he watched Nick Jr. during his, 20s or something is quite astonishing.
No, I was a lot younger than that. I was in my teens, thank you very much.
So, you're saying that the fact that me and a bunch of our friends only like the meme, we're not big fans of it in some degree for some reason because there's no way in hell anyone, even a normal fan, would know about Afram Latabar and Glani Gliper and anything about Iceland, because it's like you have to be a hardcore fan to find that out. And you're also saying that just because a franchise was a thing for so long, like Dungeons and Dragons, doesn't mean that you're a fake fan because Dungeons and Dragons has been a thing for a really long time, that a lot of things has changed, so it's gonna be hard to keep track on the lore, right?
Correct.
And you're saying that me being a Pokemon fan when I was 5 years old, isn't me being fake because I was just getting introduced to it. Am I correct?
Correct.
So, next story. Are you saying that I'm a fake Eurovision fan because I don't know about pretty much any political drama that's happening in at least today's society? I don't know who the winners were in the past 10 years, even though they've been going on for like 60. I don't know who all the contestants are. I didn't know that Montenegro was a country until Eurovision became a thing. Are you calling me a fake fan for Eurovision? Because I don't know much about my geography and political history.
Eurovision is for Europeans only. Fuck off.
Australia is gonna be in Eurovision for the next 5 years, so you fuck off. Also, fun fact about your European argument, right? Israel isn't in Europe, by the way. It's in Asia. So, you can bitch about Australia not being in Europe, when in the end, there are some countries like Israel, which is, by the way, hosting this year's Eurovision. They're not in Europe, buddy! They're not in Europe! You can Google this stuff up.
Oh my god, I've been lied to my whole life. I literally thought Israel was in Europe, or at least Eastern Europe. It's just come up at Asia. Oh my god.
Wait, so Australia's in Europe?
Ha ha. If Israel can be in Eurovision, so can flipping Australia. And by the way,
they might as well put out the whole fucking globe whilst they're at it too.
A what?
They might as well have it. They might as well have the fucking contest for the whole fucking globe to have. Might as well.
Oh yeah, fun fact. There's gonna be Eurovision Asia at this point. Like there has been
Eurovision
some.
Asia.
Yeah, there's some confirmation that it's gonna happen this year in Australia, and the countries that are participating is Korea, Japan, some islands in the Pacific Islands, New Zealand, Australia of course, China. That's all I got so far.
Oh, my favorites are gonna be in it. Oh.
It means we're gonna have K-pop and J-pop competing on the world stage.
Man, my favorite country is North Korea. I was hoping for them to compete this year. Damn it.
Oh. I mean, oh my god. But back to topic. Matt, you calling me fake fan because I don't know my political history for the past 10 years. I don't know who the artists are for the past 10 years. All I know is, it's a fun song contest. I love the song contest.
Why do you always use a voice like that?
Because my Discord profile picture is a freaking raccoon.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. What you thought it was?
I thought it was some weird whiskery penguin.
Where's the beak in this penguin?
Where's the beak in the freaking regular penguins? For the longest time, I thought that was just some giant fucking nose, since they have like a smiley face underneath the beak.
Matt, to be honest, I've never seen a penguin with a pink nose before. I'm just saying that.
Here's a little fun fact about this profile picture. The one who made it is the same guy who made Club Penguin. He's making a different game called Box Critters. By the way, guys, this podcast is not sponsored by Box Critters, by the way, but you better play it because it's a good game. It's gonna be released soon. We don't know when. It's now going to Experiment 2.
No. It's sponsored by the other box thing, Loot Crate.
The Casual Nerds podcast is sponsored by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic, geek, gamer, and pop culture gear. Every month, there is a different theme, and all items in the crate that month will revolve around this said theme. If you want to get your dose of monthly nerdy goods, click on the link down below and use the code LOOT10 to get 10% off.
Anyway, I wouldn't call you a fake fan of Eurovision because it's just a song contest. It's not like, a game like Kingdom Hearts or Pokemon or something where you at least gotta know something about it. You can literally just tune in at any point and just be like, hey, this is a new season, new singers, let's go. When, you could go back and watch or listen to songs from the older contest or whatever, but it doesn't really matter because it's not like it has a full-on story or anything that you have to follow. It's just, new year, new contest, there you go.
But it kind of does though, because people will just see Eurovision as a song contest that Europe just performs and stuff because it eases the masses back after World War II. But what makes Eurovision more spicy is the political drama that happens within each year. For example, this year we have the Israel versus Palestine drama that people literally want to boycott the contest. The year 2017, we had the Ukraine versus Russia drama where one of the singers ended up backing out and Russia ended up looking good because Ukraine won't accept the singer who is sitting on a wheelchair. And in 2016, or was it 2017? Yeah, 2016, there was this one singer from the UK who sung a song which people say, oh, it's not about Brexit, but let's be real, it's technically about Brexit. So that's what makes Eurovision more spicy. The political drama behind the songs. This year, not only it's about Palestine and Israel, we also have Iceland with Hatari singing a song about hate, which revolves around what 2019 is. A world filled with hate, where people die because white guys want more white people and hate migrants, and the US political leader is a giant Dorito chip.
Please note that that does not include every single person in the U.S. because I'm not filled with hate. All right, so there's like political drama and stuff behind the scenes as well, but that doesn't really affect the contest itself, does it?
It affects it in some tiny degree. Like in 2017, Russia couldn't compete. They had to withdraw because of political drama. This year, Ukraine withdraw because they want to put some more political bullcrap in their singer and everything. So, and the singer was like, I am not a political pawn, I am an artist. So she decides to not perform for Ukraine. And apparently all the people who were competing in the national selection performed at Russia at one point, that it's gonna be impossible to find someone, hence their withdrawal because of politicalness.
So the politicalness of the behind the scenes stuff affects the show as well?
In some degree, yes. So if you're unaware, you're gonna just be oblivious to the whole thing. But if you're gonna dive deep into the song contest, you'll know there's some tiny hints of politicalness. Like for example, Greece and Cyprus always giving 12 points towards each other because they're best friends.
Okay, well, I guess that kind of counts, but I mean, if you really don't care about the behind the scenes stuff, like, I know I wouldn't. I would just be there to watch the contest and see who wins and all that and hear the songs. Then, honestly, with stuff like that, you don't really have to know that stuff. You know, you don't really have to know the behind the scenes stuff if you're just there to watch it.
Hey Matt, you do just realize that I pretty much debunked a lot of your definitions through my examples, right? Like you kept finding exceptions to the rule of the definition. Are you aware of this?
Yes, I do. But at the same time, for a lot of these things, though, it really does depend on the situation.
So you gotta admit that your definition isn't 100% solid proof, because we could literally find loopholes to your, oh, you have to know 100% of this and that to be a full official fan, when in reality, I just gave you a billion examples about, oh, what about if this scenario takes place, or what if the situation involving all of our friends takes place, and you're like, well, just because of this and that doesn't mean that this and that, like, or just because you don't know about that, it doesn't call you fake because you need to dig deep for that knowledge. You do realize that this pretty much debunks your definition, right?
Whoa! I did not say you have to know 100% about everything. I just said you have to know at least something. Like, you have to know at least an amount, not 100%. I don't even know 100% everything about Pokemon, but I'm more of like a casual fan of it nowadays.
But your definition of a fan is pretty much you have to know some stuff and you have to experience it. Yet I gave you examples when a bunch of our friends want to become fans or are fans, but we can't. But according to your definition, we are not technically fans of a thing because we don't know a lot about it. but yet you found like a loophole saying, oh, just because of like you have to dig deep just to know to find that out, because I'm pretty sure there were other people who are also hardcore fans didn't know about it unless they dug deep about it. Basically, what I'm saying is that your definition of a fan is you have to have some knowledge about it, or you have to have some extensive knowledge about the lore and everything about it. Yet, I gave you examples in scenarios where there were times where we don't know much of the general story, or we don't know some of the hardcore stuff, and yet you're finding loopholes saying, yeah, you're still a fan about it because there are reasons why this and that doesn't count of you being a fake fan. So, pretty much your definition isn't 100% solid proof in a sense. Because the definition of a fake fan, at least in today's society, like I mentioned when this episode started, was someone who would just yell or tell other people that you're a fake because of dumb reasons, like you don't know this, you don't know that, or in my case, you played Club Penguin Island on the final month only because you had other stuff to do. But in a sense, I am not a fake fan because I didn't play the spin-off game. I am still a fan of the game. I just grew up and became casual and just pretty much stopped playing it for a while because, I don't know, university and everything. And for all the other fandoms and things that I'm into, I'm not a fake fan because I don't know a lot of the other stuff. I didn't watch the newer series, but I like Pokemon still. I still want to play the game. Or for Eurovision, I like the song contest. I know I'm trying to catch up on my political history, and yet people are saying that you're not a true Eurovision fan if you don't know stuff that happened in, like, I don't know, the 80s and the 60s and stuff like that. So what I'm saying is that the definition of fake fans have changed over time. That just saying that, oh, you only like this or that, but you don't know much about it, it doesn't make you fake, in a sense. You know what I mean?
I could see your definition, yeah. But in this sense, you know, everybody's going to have their different definitions of what a fake fan is. I'm not really saying this. I didn't even come into this trying to debunk or trying to disprove one definition over the other. I just kind of came into this as, you know, let's just talk about it.
I guess over time definitions change. I mean, we're both from different generations because you're like, I don't know, like 10 years older than me, so your definition of one thing is different to mine. So I could see why you see fake fans as that. And there are some cases where friends have told me that they want to call their classmates or other friends fake because they only like this one thing or they don't know this and that. But at the same time, fandoms are like a sort of escape, like a second or third family for people. So they want to negate the yelling and accusation of being fake by just welcoming people, even though they only know one thing or not a lot of things. They just want to welcome them because as long as you like that show or the video game or anything in general, you're pretty much considered to be a fan in some degree. Because let's be real, if I want to get into Kingdom Hearts and I found out that there's this dumb hive mind mentality where you have to know who all the characters are and who all the lore and all that jazz is about, I wouldn't be interested in playing anymore because the community is somewhat low-key toxic. So I'm guessing in a sense, your definition of fake fan might be something that's personal to you, while the definition of how I view fake fans is for the public knowledge in a case. Because there might be people who want to say, oh, you're a fake because of this and that, but they know that if they say that, they might get hate from the community or something because they're like being unwelcoming or something. I don't know. This is based on how I view the whole thing based off experience and everything.
Well, I guess in a sense, when it comes to defining what a fake fan is, everybody has their own definition of what it is. Some maybe from the older generation like me, apparently. And some, like you have your own definition because you fandoms have changed. Fandoms have evolved greatly over the years. Like, almost scary, insanely. And, you know, it just depends on the person's outtake on it. It depends on how they see it, really. Because, you know, I see your points, and I respect your points, but that's still not going to completely change of how I see things.
Yeah, I guess that we should just accept that we have different opinions and just, if we have issues about it, we shouldn't just hate each other for it. We should just calmly talk about it, or in a case of mine, debate it on a podcast.
Yep, either one works. Well, this has been another interesting episode. This has been another interesting conversation, which I enjoyed very much. I might host another one again, but we'll see what happens in the future. As always, this is MegaDjMatt, and with me is
Eri, and just to remind you guys, feel free to like, subscribe, listen to our podcast on iTunes, Podbean, and YouTube. And yeah, see you guys in the next one. So, peace.
signing out.